They'll have to get step one another time. Okay, let's go to step 2 is planning your schedule. On the opposite page, there's a blank schedule. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the last day of your Quick Start. Everybody should know when their last day is. If you don't, you can look on you got it. Well, first off, you got an email. I want you to go back, not to the last day of your Quick Start, I'm sorry, the last day of your 45 days. And I want you to put that on the last day of the calendar. So if it's like Tuesday, December 12th, go to the last Tuesday on that calendar and make it the 12th, and then backtrack it, so that you know how much time you have left in your 45 days. Because that's how long your 3 coupons are good for the $85 kit. And, actually, if you get the extra 30, don't worry about that. But also, you have 8 Miss Brown $20 coupons. Those are good for only 45 days. It has nothing, because we didn't offer that to everybody. That's a huge bonus to say to a friend, I've started a new business and I need your help. And just for letting me practice with you and your friends, I'm going to give you an additional $20 in free products as a thank you, because I know you're doing me a favor and I appreciate you helping me build my business. That's a nice gift, but you want to use those. We have a little saying, no coupon goes unused. And you're setting yourself up for long-term success, because if each of those parties book 2 parties, because they're going to want the Miss Brown box. So if each of them book 2, that's 16 parties on your calendar. And that means if you've now held 8 plus 16, 24 parties, and let's say you do that in your first 4 months, an average of 6 a month, average of 10 people per party, that's 240 people that you've come in contact with, that you get to share about our business, you get to add to your email list, you get to book parties with now or later. That is your customers. And if you were like me and you're sitting there going, I don't know if I know enough people, I knew 4 people literally in the state of Texas when I started in this industry 26 years ago. I did beg them. I said, please do a party for me, because I know no one. And I need to meet your friends. And if you will do this for me, I will never, ever, ever ask you again. I promise. I just need to meet some people. And I built a business that I was making close to $100,000 a year after 2 years. Now, I didn't do that holding just a few parties here and there. I held, 5, 6 parties a week, but that was my full-time job. And my friends, 26 years ago weren't making $100,000 a year. Even many of them with big, fancy degrees. And it was my time, and I was still being home with my children. So you have an opportunity. Now, you can also just hold a party a week. Whatever works for you. The lady that got me into Tupperware, she's been with them 36 years. She's driven 18 free vehicles. She has MS, so some months she can do a lot, and some months she hardly does anything. But because she's been consistent, she's built a team that can carry her. And what a wonderful business. One of our leaders just told me today she just had a baby. Actually, she's a senior manager. And she goes, I got a $2,200 paycheck. She's been doing this about 4 years. And I only held 2 parties last month. She goes, I can't believe that I can take off 6 weeks, with my baby. She went out and did 2 parties with one with her mom and one with someone else, sold $1,000. And she still made $2,600 was her paycheck. That's a great paycheck. And, that's for just having fun and building and sharing with others. So, I want you to do that, and I want you to identify, if you've got 6 coupons left, I want you to identify 8 time slots that you can hold parties. If you have all 8, I want you to identify 10. If you have 3, I want you to identify 5. Why am I saying more than what you have? We call those insurance parties. You're insuring your you're insuring your income. Just like you get insurance on your life, your home, and your car, You're insuring your business with extra parties. So I want you to pick those out, and Joni will follow up with you. You might not have time to do it right now, so that when you're talking to people, you can say, I have, Tuesday, the November 10th or Thursday, November 12th open, which would work best for you because you know that you have them. Ladies, if you have days during the week or days on the weekend that you don't work outside the home, you can hold more than one party a week. I used to hold 4 on Saturday. That freaks a lot of people out. I left my house at about 9 o'clock, and I usually didn't get home till about 9 o'clock at night, and held a party at 10, 1, 4, and 7. And I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and things aren't close. It can be done. But I could make $300-400 in one day and still be home with my family 3 nights of the week. So you get to determine what you want to do. If you don't work outside the home, think about doing a 10 o'clock brunch after people have taken their kids to Mother's Day out or school, a lunchtime party at an office, a before school lets out party, last minute mommy get together, a happy hour. There's so many things. Parties are not just held on the weekends and at 7 o'clock during the weeknight. They can be held anytime, any day of the week that you can get a group of people together. I actually at one time used to hold parties at 7:30 a.m. at the hospital because that was when the shift changed for the nurses. So I'd get there about 6:30 and I'd get the shift that was leaving and the shift that was coming in. Then 3:30 I could do it again, the shift that was leaving and the shift that was coming in. So it's not as conventional as 6:30 on Tuesday night or 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, but it works. And I'd have great parties because no one had to clean their house. They had an instant group. They knew what to do. So pick those dates out. It's very important that you go in and you mark your commitments. You don't want to miss your mother-in-law's 50th birthday because you put a party and it doesn't go over too well. You want to, put things that you can't move. If you go to church on Sunday and you don't want to quit going to church, mark Sunday mornings out. If you're in a bowling league one Thursday night a month, mark it out. If you are in a book club, you do not have to give things up. Just because your child has a soccer game at 10 o'clock doesn't mean on Saturday morning, doesn't mean all Saturday, the whole day's out. You can still go to the game. Just put them on your calendar and then schedule around it. Very rarely have I met anyone in 26 years that we couldn't find the time on their calendar that they could do the things that were most important to them. And they may give up something that's not as important because the money was more important to their needs. So they might choose to give up going to PTA meetings because that wasn't that important to them, but their kid's game was. They might choose to give up the book club, but their bowling league they didn't. Because they needed the money, but you need to find that out. All right, step number 3. A little long-winded, I'm sorry. I need to move it on. Schedule your business launch. Most people schedule their business launch as their first party. It doesn't have to be. I've had people that it just doesn't work for their family. You can just call your friends and book parties. And by the way, you can have as many business launches as you want. We have no limit. I know some party plans, I didn't know this till just recently, don't allow you to be the host and the chocolatier. You can in our business. You can make the money and get the free stuff as many times as you want. So if you had a business launch, I always tell people to invite 30 to 40 people. And on average, you should get about 12 to 16 if you follow the good host coaching steps of, personally inviting, follow up, using, email or a postcard as a reminder, that type of thing. Well, guess what? That means you actually had probably 25 that didn't come. So why wouldn't you do another business launch so they could come? Just because one time didn't work, and it doesn't mean they didn't want to come. You can do another business launch, and I promise you this, you won't think to invite everyone. You can add more people to your launch. So anytime you need a party, relaunch your business. And you'll always have people. I have been doing this for 26 years. And I still have people that somehow or another have missed coming to a party. I don't know how. I also need to tell you, please do not call your upline and say, I've called everybody I know. Because y'all are going to have to learn me. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a kind of a smart aleck. So I'm not being mean, I promise. Because it's a lie. I've been doing it 26 years and highly successful, and I still haven't called everyone I know. I've called everyone I'm comfortable asking. And the way to succeed is to get out of your own way and call some of them on what I like to affectionately refer to as the chicken list. You know, and we'll teach you that. We, of course, can't teach you everything in one night, in 1 hour. But I want you to know you have plenty of contacts, and especially in today's environment with social media and internet and telephones and free long distance. Joni, you remember we used to only call people on Sundays long distance because it cost so much and it was cheaper on Sunday afternoon. Joni and I are about the same age. We remember these things. We have it so good now with direct sales. It's amazing. You used to would have had to come to my physical house to pick your kid up and stay for 2 hours, whether it was convenient or not, for me to do this training with you. Now I can talk to you in Kentucky, and I can train you just as well as if you were sitting in my living room. I'd love to have you in my living room. But if you lived an hour away and had to stay for 2 hours and drive an hour back, that was 4 hours. Do it now in an hour. So it doesn't replace personal contact. Joni's still going to do team meetings, but I want you to know that you have limitless boundaries in the United States because of all the tools that we have. All right, so pick your launch date. It doesn't have to be the first. In fact, you should have at least 3 parties on your calendar before you do your launch. Doesn't mean they have to be held before. So let's say your launch is a week from today. You just got your kit, or you just joined yesterday, you set your launch up for next Thursday. Tomorrow or today, you just joined, you don't have a kit. It's okay. You don't need a kit to book parties. You just need a voice and a calendar. And Joni is really good. She understands that. I got to her house when I met her the first time, and I think she had 11 parties on her calendar before she ever even got a kit. So she'll be, let me tell you, she is the pro. And she can teach you how to do that. She can give you the word choices. You just have to do it. And let me just tell you, if you get stuck after 2 or 3 and you're not getting a yes, don't keep going. Call her back. Because y'all might can tweak your words a little, but sometimes it's just a numbers game. So set your launch date and start inviting. You're going to invite 30 to 40 people, and please do not let that number freak you out. Again, in 26 years, I have never had anyone say to me, all 40 people came. If you're going to have 40, you probably need to invite 100. Also know that don't try to ask everybody when's a good day for them, because you're just going to make people upset. If I call you and I say, you know, hey, Angie, this is Lori. I'm thinking about having a party. Would Tuesday or Thursday work best for you? And you say Tuesday. The next 6 people I call, they say Thursday. And I book it for Thursday. You're going to think, well, why the heck did you ask me? I told you Tuesday was better. But don't ask them. Don't give them that power, hurt their feelings. Do what's best for you, because I promise you there's not a perfect date for everyone. The closer you can book it, the better. What's today, Thursday? You can have a party Sunday, Saturday, no problem, this week. If you're going to go shopping, you don't call your friends and say, hey, would you like to go shopping 3 weeks from Saturday? You're, hey, what are you doing Saturday? Let's go shopping. Your friends know what they're doing more now and can make a commitment than they know what they're doing 3 weeks from now. And you need to understand that everything's going to trump your home party. What I mean by that is, you book 3 weeks from now, and they'll go, oh yeah, I'll come, you know, but call me and remind me. Basically what they're saying when they say that is, unless something better comes up. And that's just the honest truth. Or 3 weeks from now, that soccer game that was rained out may have gotten postponed, or all of a sudden it's teacher meet the teacher, or what is it when they go in and you get the review, whatever, I can't think what you call it. It's going to trump your party. Just because they told you 3 weeks ago they would come, that's going to trump it. But if you do it next week, most of those things don't get rescheduled that quick. And you're going to get a much better attendance. And that's what we want for you. And also I want it to be easy. Why call them 3 times if you only have to call them once or twice to invite them? So get your launch party set. Get your list made. And then when you're inviting them, it's very important to personally invite first. Personally invite means face-to-face, voice-to-voice. See them at work, see them at the soccer field. Text is acceptable only if you're personally texting, not a group. It needs to be a conversation. And only use text if that's the way you normally converse with them. My 57-year-old best friend Kelly, for some odd reason, loves text messaging. That's how I would invite her. My friend Nancy, I'd pick up the phone and call her because that's how we converse. Use what is your most normal method of conversing. Do not use email. Email is not a conversation. You don't even know if, there's no way if you even know if they got it. So you don't know if they didn't respond or didn't get it, whatever. Our hostess portal, an Evite, none of that is an invitation. Those are reminders. When I talk to someone about the hostess portal, I say, even if they say no, they can't come, oh, well, I'm going to send you our hostess portal so you can shop. If they say maybe, I'm going to send you our hostess portal so you'll have a date to remind you of. If they say yes, they're coming, I'm going to send you our hostess portal so you have a date that save the date, as well as you can share it with a friend and get them to come with you. So I'm sending that hostess portal no matter what you say, but my invitation is personal. Mouth to mouth, face to face, voice to voice. I mean, voice to voice, face to face, not mouth to mouth. Face to face, voice to voice, or text if that's a normal way. Okay? So I'm trying to catch up. I got a little behind here. So we have gotten through the first 3 things: scheduling your business launch, working your calendar, and understanding Quick Start. And a little bit of creating our contact list for your business. We're going to talk about list of 100. Does anyone have any questions regarding what we've covered so far? And let me just say, this is a safe environment. No question is a stupid question. I promise someone's asked it before, and you're probably asking what someone else is thinking. So don't be afraid to speak up. You're a tapping. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can mute them and see if we can lose that. All right, if you have questions, again, write them down. I'll keep stopping and we'll keep going. All right, on your list of 100, first off, I want you to know everyone does know 100 people. You do not run in a circle of 100. Probably run in a circle of 10 to 12, and you'll get stuck when you're making your list between 15 and 25. That's just kind of normal. So what you need to do is when you get to that stuck place, first off, you need to ask yourself, have I used all walks of life? Meaning, if you go to a church or a synagogue or a place of worship, if you are involved in any clubs or activities, if your kids are involved in any clubs, activities, even if they're not, but they're old enough to have friends, their friends have parents. You don't know them, it's a great way to get to know them. My best friend, Kelly, the reason she's my best friend is when our daughters were 8 years old, 3rd grade, they're both 28 now, and they're both named Alex. They wanted to play together. And I thought, I want to know this mom. So I went over and invited her to a Tupperware party. And you should hear Kelly tell the story because we're complete opposite. She's like, what is this woman doing? I really don't care if I know people. I mean, we're totally opposite. And she's been my best friend now for 20 years because I invited her to a party. That's where our relationship began. And our daughters remain, and we know each other. So your friends, your kids' friends do have parents or have guardians or something. They don't live on the street unless they are, I don't know, weird. I don't know. They should have parents. So, ask yourself, work. If you're married or have a significant other, their work, your neighborhood. Let me just tell you, you do not want another chocolatier driving up on your street holding a chocolate party. But if you don't go ask your neighbors, it can happen. It happened to me one time and it never happened again. Another thing that happened to me, there was a girl that was in my Sunday school class, and we went to a fairly small church. And one night at our sales meeting, because remember we used to go to these meetings every Monday night, she came walking in the door as someone's new recruit. And I am like, Stacy, what are you doing? You know I sell Tupperware. And she goes, I said, why did you sign up with Carol? And she goes, because she asked me to. She's right. I never asked her. Hard lesson learned. Very hard. So don't forget to invite the people closest to you. Most people today don't know their neighbors like they should. When I was growing up, we knew all of our neighbors. We played out in the street. If you needed an egg, you didn't go to the store. You went next door and borrowed it. You need a cup of sugar, you run down 3 houses, you get the cup of sugar, and you come home. Today, most of us don't do that. We're closed off. Go knock on your neighbor's door, introduce yourself, have a postcard, have a Post-it note on it, a blank, have all the information on the invitation postcard, put a Post-it note on it, and say, hi, I'm Susie, and I live 3 doors down, and I am inviting all the neighbors over. I have a chocolate business to try our chocolate and see what they'd like, and they can purchase, but more importantly, we can all get to know each other. I've always heard the safest neighborhoods are the ones where people know each other. If you leave it on their door, they're not coming. 9 times out of 10. How many things have been left on your door that you just wad up and throw away? You don't even hardly read them. Plus, you don't really know that that's your neighbor when you see it on your door. Introduce yourself. Why is that Post-it note on there? It's because when you say, will you do me a favor and just jot your name down on that Post-it note and your phone number? Number one, that way we can have it. And if we ever need each other for anything, we have each other's information, and I can call you and remind you about the event. Now you're building your contacts as well. You'll get a much better response. I had someone tell me that I went out and invited 50 of my neighbors to come to my house, and not one showed up. Didn't surprise me. He put 50 flyers out on his neighbor's door. I bet you 25 of them didn't. They might still be there, because a lot of people just go through their garage, go in their house, and never check their front door. I bet you at least 10 of them wadded it up without even looking at it. I bet you 10 of them said, I don't know who that is. I don't want to go over there. And maybe there were some that wanted to go and forgot, but if you had their phone number reminded, they would have come. So keep that in mind. When you're making your list of 100, you start there. Then you say, okay, a year ago, what was I doing? My boys played hockey, and every year we had new parents. I had a senior manager tell me yesterday, Lori, my circle is just worn out. I've been doing this 4 years. I don't have anybody to ask. And I said, blank, whatever her name was, I don't want to give it away. I can't even believe you just said that. I know your son plays on 2 soccer teams, and I hear you talking about tryouts. Since there's tryouts, I know that different people make the team every time. There's new, she's like, all right, you're right. I remember hearing that your daughter's now a cheerleader, and she's never cheered before. That's all. I said, did all of those cheerleading kids dance with her? Well, no, you're right. Do you see what I mean? We just think about the obvious people, the people we're most comfortable with. Only way to really succeed is sometimes you've got to get out of your comfort zone. You don't have to do super uncomfortable things. I'm not saying you have to stand on the side of the road with chocolate and says, we'll work for chocolate, anything. Now, if you want to, go right ahead, try anything. But sometimes we have to be willing to ask to get what we want. When you make your list of 100 or 50 or as far as you get, you can always add to it. I want you to do this. Write this down. I want you to take your list. Kathy, you're going to hold them accountable to this, okay? I mean, Joni, you look like a lady I know named Kathy Cowan, and that's why I keep watching, especially since I can't see your whole face right now. So you're going to take your list, and I want you to literally read the names out loud. And this sounds silly, but I promise you it'll be more effective. You know, go Susie, Joni, start reading them. The first time you read them out loud, you're going to read them 3 times. When you're reading your name out loud, you're asking yourself, do I think this person would be good in the business? Not, hear me, not do I think they would want to do it. You are not a mind reader. You do not have a crystal ball. If you're the medium from Manhattan or whatever she is, just raise your hand now so I know that you can tell the future. But most of us can't. Do not. The question you want to ask is, do you think they'd be good? They might be a doctor. You might think they'd be really good. I want you to put a $ by their name of every person you think would be good. Not, I don't care if you know 137% they will not do it. If you think they will be good, put a $ by their name. They're driven, they're good listeners, they have lots of integrity, they're fun, just any of those business skills. They like to win, they have drive, okay? Go through your whole list. Then start again at number 1. You're going to read every single name again, even if they have a $ by their name. You're going to read it again. And you're asking yourself, do I think this person would make a great hostess for a party? Again, not necessarily will they say yes. Do I think they'd make a good hostess? Do they like to get free? Do they like to get together with their friends? Do they like to try new things? Do they like to entertain? If you do, you're going to put a heart by their name. Because I always say our host is the heart of our business. Without them, we don't meet. They're our networking partners. We get to, Mr. Mars pays for us to go to networking events. I know friends that pay hundreds of dollars every month to go to these like BNI networking events. I don't pay anything. I go to a party, and Mr. Mars awards my host with free stuff, and she brings in 10 people I've never met. And I have her full attention. I don't have to share with 37 other companies. That's my networking event, is parties. Again, I'm really about helping you make money and not spend it. So you put a heart. So now some people have a $ and they have a heart. And then you're going to go back to the top of the list. You're going to read the names out loud again. And if you think they would just want to purchase chocolate, they like chocolate, they like to buy gifts, they might give you a referral. I want you to put a smiley face because chocolate makes people happy. Did y'all know that it's humanly impossible to say the word chocolate without smiling? Try it. Just say chocolate. And your mouth goes up. It happens. Chocolate not only makes people, the word makes you feel better, much less it coming in and going down. And then now what you've done is you're going, when you work on calling people to host, join the business, the people you want to start with are, you're going to have people that have all 3 symbols by their name. That means those are your most interest in your mind, the people you see the most value in. And you're going to be able to tell them that. And that makes people feel good when they hear the value. You know, I might say, you know, Angie, I wanted to give you a call. How have you been doing? She tells me, great. You know, what's going on in your life? She tells me a little bit, and they're going to naturally say, what's going on in yours? Well, you know what? I just started this really cool chocolate business. I'm representing Dove Chocolate from the Mars Corporation. And quite honestly, I had to call you because I was challenged with this little activity. And when I started looking at what you have to offer, you know, you've got such drive. I remember when we used to work together, you made sure everything was done on time. When I was out of town, you had my back. You were such a great team player. And I know we always had fun getting together with the girls. And you were one of the first people that came to my mind that I want to talk to you about and share with you what I'm doing and get your opinion and see what you think about it. And then that gets to go many directions. The first I'm going to share with her about the business. I built her confidence. I just told her she could be great at this business. And I told her why, and it was specific and generic. And I couldn't say that maybe to the next person because that's not the truth. To that person, it might be, you know, you're that person that anytime I need anything or anybody needs anything, I swear I think you give people the shirt off your back and you just listen so intently to people that I've noticed that when you're in a room, it's kind of like the old E.F. Hutton commercial. When you speak, everyone wants to listen. And I really believe it's because of your integrity. And you know, I was just thinking about you, and I've started this business with Dove Chocolate, and I really want to surround myself with people like you with strong integrity. And I'd love to, you know, share with you what I've got going on and get your opinion. You're not saying and want you to join or have a partner, then get your opinion. And so often they'll go, yeah, well, I might need some money, or you know what, I don't think I could do the business right now, but I'll have a party. That sounds really fun. And you're making someone's day by paying them compliments, showing them why they would be good at things, and helping them remember. Maybe that's the first time. I walked into the post office last week, and it really broke my heart. There was a man behind me, and he obviously goes there all the time, and he said something to one of them, and about, I don't know, something about being appreciated. She goes, are you kidding me? I've worked here 18 years and never gotten a thank you. And I looked straight at her and I said, that's not right, and you deserve it. I said, you know what, in my business, I get to pick people out and I thank them daily. But I don't only thank them daily, I give them gifts, I take them on trips to Maui, and we sell chocolate. What could be better? We need to talk. So you have lots of opportunity. So that's why your list is so very, very important. And Joni's going to follow up with you. So I want you to commit to at least getting 25 on your list in the next 24 hours. It doesn't take long in doing the little symbols. If you can get more, that's ideal. But we don't want any more time to pass, because remember, we're getting your business off to a quick start. We want you to get these awards. I have a saying that when I have never had anyone quit when they were having fun and making money. I've never had anybody walk to me, Lori, I'm having so much fun, I'm making so much money, I quit. It just doesn't happen. And getting all these awards and making good money and changing lives, because you change people's lives just when you have a party. You've made their day. They may have had the worst day ever. You just gave it a better card. So I want you to be able to give that gift to people. So I'm going to challenge you to do this in 24 hours. If you already know right now you have your set solid booked, you can't find 20 minutes to do this on your lunch tomorrow before you go to work, or tomorrow evening, go ahead and shoot Joni a message, but commit to getting it done by Friday. Because we want to make sure you have the words and you're getting that calendar filled up. Because of time, I'm not going to go into as many word choices. We have a great phone guide here for you. What I would encourage you to do is, once again, read these scripts out loud 3 or 4 times, and then it'll start to come out in your own words. Keep the scripts in front of you. I would rather you read than say nothing, but chances are your own words are going to start to emerge, and you're going to find your rhythm, because I may have even written some of these in the past, but it's my language, not necessarily yours. But one line I want to point out to you that's really, really important is, let me find it, hold on. I thought it was in the first one. It must not be in the first one. Well, I can't find it, but it said something like, the reason I'm calling you is because I know I could count on you to help me out. The people you want to call and say that to is, I want you to think of right now, of all your friends. If one of your friends, family members, coworkers came to you and said, hey, I'm selling Pampered Chef, and I promise I'll never ask you again, but I'm new to the area and I need to meet some people. Would you just help me by having a party? Now, you have to understand, I don't do other people's home parties at all, because I'm a believer that my friends are only going to spend so much money, so I want them to spend them at my home party. And I don't want someone else trying to recruit them to their company. I want to recruit them. But there are people in my life, my best friend Kelly, my friend Nancy, my best friend Nancy, my kids, my nieces, that if they were to do something different, I would do it for them. Those are the people that you're going to call and say, I knew I could count on you. It's the ones that, if you would do it for them, chances are they have the relationship that they would do it for you. And it's nothing wrong with saying, I know I can count on you. When can we do this? So those words are in here, and I'm having a hard time finding them right now. But read these scripts out loud. They have booking messages, they have invite to your launch messages, and they even have recruiting messages for them. So that's where you want to start. Before we got 5 minutes left, and that's good. I can still finish. We got started about 5 minutes late, so I might run 1 or 2 minutes over. But does anybody have any questions before we wrap up with this section? Okay, our next section is number 7, and it's observing tasting parties and training calls. You ladies are so fortunate, the ones of you that live in Louisville. Joni is an expert in this industry, and to be able to have the opportunity and go watch her and observe her is great. What I want to encourage you to do is, if you're in her area, to go on one party with her just as soon as possible. Then after you've held 2 or 3 more, even if you've already been doing this a while, or 5 or 6 more, then go on another one. You're going to see things different. You're going to learn different things. And then commit to how many parties a month you want to hold. So let's say you want to hold 8 parties a month. And one month you only have 6. Your team's really growing there. Call a different team member and commit to going to a party 8 times, whether you hold it or not. Or let me just tell you, when you go watch enough people do parties, you'll say, I'm tired of doing this. I'm going to get my own book, so I don't. But it's a commitment to yourself. But you'll also learn a lot. But, commit to your schedule. If you want to hold 8 parties, you should be going to 8 parties, whether you're doing 8 parties or not. Because you need to be learning. Maybe you can take one of those nights and go do networking, but if you set a work schedule, be true to your schedule. That's how you grow. If I want 8 parties and one of my parties cancels, I either need to be going to a party and learning, or I need to be spending the same amount of time working my business. So if I leave my house at 6:30 and won't get home till 9:30 because I had to drive, and I take 6:30 to 9:30, and I need to book at least 2 parties that night, because that's what I was counting on to grow my business for the future from that party. I need to book at least 2 to replace the party I didn't have, and to have it at least even for the next month. So that's a great just business head. Now again, this is your business. I'm kind of giving you the big picture. You get to determine which pieces you take, which pieces you do, how you want to do it. You could do a whole lot more than I'm talking about, and you do a whole lot less. It truly depends on what you want. Your success is not who sells the most. Your success is making the goals that you set for yourself. And honestly, I don't care if all you want to make is $200 a month just so you can go get a pedicure, a manicure, and a massage every month. Where I would see you're successful is every month you make it. And I would see that equal to the person that wants to make $2,000. Because if you're getting from this what you want, you're being successful. Make sure you're attending meetings. I know your organization has a lot of training available. There's a lot of training calls that are offered by the company. Here's another thing though. It is not, do not go to the calendar and sign up for, say I'm going to do every training on this month. If you do that, you're not going to have time to hold parties. That is not our goal. Our goal is to put enough out there for you to pick and choose from. Joni's trainings should be your #1 priority. Whatever she's doing, if you have to choose between it and something else, do hers first. Because she's your first point of contact. If they're doing it as an organization versus my region, do your organization training first, because that is the group that you interact with the most, that you're growing with. But if there's something that you want to learn, maybe you want to learn about fundraising or corporate gifting, or maybe you want to learn more about our compensation plan. Go look on that calendar and find a training on it and go listen to it. Jen Fitzgerald is one of my favorite people to work with. She's a very busy lady. She has 4 children. They're all girls. They competitively do baton, and she's a full-time teacher. and part-time art teacher. And Jen gets on. Now, I will say Jen gets on way more trainings than I would ever think she needed to. But Jen does this. If she's home and she's cooking dinner and there's a training, she just puts it on speaker. She doesn't stop her world, and she may not get as much from it, but she's hearing word choices. If she picks up a sentence, but she doesn't say, I've got to do this training, I'm not going to hold a party. Jen usually sells about $2,400 a month. But she'll get up and she'll be driving to work, and she'll have the phone on speaker and just listen. So that's another way to take advantage of more without committing any additional time. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Hold on. Okay. Step number 9, spreading the word. You heard me. I'm a real believer in spreading the word through your party, spreading the word through your contacts. Be prepared with your 30-second commercial. There's an example down here. It's really important that you share with people what you do, not who you are. If you say to someone, I'm a Dove chocolate, I'm a chocolatier with Dove Chocolate Discoveries. Honestly, you know what comes to my mind? Mickey Mouse ears. I think Mouseketeer. That's what comes to my mind. I can't help it. Anybody else duck in your mind? Your little black ears on a hat. That's who you are. Tell them what you do. What do you do? Well, I work with Dove Chocolate, and I bring chocolate into people's homes or place of business where they can try it in ways they've probably never imagined, like cocoa-inspired pasta sauce, moles, salsas, martinis, brownies, and I get to treat people to these indulgences and also look for good team members as a recruiter for them to help market this product in my area. Now they've got a picture. I'm a chocolatier told them nothing, did it? I just created a picture where they want to know more. If you just say I'm a chocolatier, they'll go, oh, okay. You're looking for a way, and then you can say, doesn't that sound like fun? Or I bet you know some people would think that was an ideal job. That's a way to get them into a conversation that you continue to ask questions, get to know them, and introduce them to the business. So in your 30-second commercial, you can use the one at the bottom. That's maybe something in a few days that when you're talking with Joni, or you can just shoot it over to her in a text or in an email, and she can respond back. I know everybody's busy. It all doesn't have to be done voice to voice. But share that with her so that she can look at it and see. Because so often people still think they're saying what they do, and they're still telling people who they are. And we want you to be able to share them and create a word picture that's going to entice them. Number 9 is dream big. Set goals and don't be afraid to. I can tell you that within 6 weeks of being in the industry, I knew I wanted this to be my career 26 years ago. And I remember my mentor, the head gal above me. I remember when I promoted to leader, I went to like an orientation, and she asked me, she said, what do you want from this business? And I said, I want your job. That was pretty bold. I'd been in 6 weeks. She'd been in like 20 years. And she said, well, you can't have mine, but you can have one just like it. And she knew then to put me under her wing and to fly with me. I had people come to me and say, I want to make $100 a month just so once a month I can take my husband to dinner, because I don't work outside the home, and I always feel like when I treat him to something, I'm using his money to treat him to. And I just want that own little money. I wanted that. I didn't work outside the home when I started, and I hated going and buying like Mike's Christmas present or birthday, because half the time he saw the credit card bill before I gave him the gift. And I never felt, even though it was our money, I wanted that. I wanted to be able to do that. And then I had other people come to me and say, I want to be able to quit my job in 6 months. Now, that didn't come easy, but they did it. And I had to tell them, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot. You may miss every soccer game for the next 6 months, but it might mean you're going to be home for the next 18 years. Are you willing to do that? You know, you can have whatever it is. It can be getting your nails done to a 6-figure income. You just have to decide how much you're willing to do. No goal is too big or too small. You just have to look at it and ask yourself, does it make sense? So for example, I want to lose 40 pounds in 2 weeks. The 40 pounds isn't the problem. It's the 2 weeks that's the problem, right? So I have to be realistic and say that's not possible, but I could lose 40 pounds in 6 months by the time we get to Maui. So you can have whatever you want. It's just got to be timely, smart, measurable, and you've got to be willing to sacrifice. I don't get to eat as many chips and salsas and drink as many margaritas as I want to, and they'll still lose 40 pounds. Right? Doesn't happen. Because trust me, I'd eat chips and salsa every day of the week if I could. I'm not going to lose 40 pounds doing that. So I have to say, am I willing to sacrifice? I could probably lose 40 pounds in 3 months if I was willing to give it up altogether, but I'm not. I've determined I'm not willing to do that. So I had to make my time frame longer. So that's the kind of thing I want you to know, to dream big. Don't be afraid to set goals. And when you're doing all of this, if you'll just take advantage of what we've talked about tonight and commit to it, write it down, put these things to work, commit to getting those parties on, not only are you going to earn every single award in Quick Start, you're going to be going to Maui with us as well. I didn't even tell you how to get to Maui, but if you will trust me and put this to work and commit to doing it, you're going to Maui. And maybe you've done direct sales before and you're thinking, no, I'm not. I know how those things work. Only the top of the top go. That is not true. At our company, 45% of our chocolatiers last year were in their first 6 months of the business. Joni's already earned it as a trip for 2. Now, y'all might say, yeah, but she's been doing this stuff forever. Well, I'm here to tell you, there's a gal in Arkansas named Terry Canada who's never done it. She joined in August, and she, too, has earned her trip for 2. You've got 3 full months. That's half the qualification period, and you get double points. But you're not going to get it by holding one party here and one party there. If you'll get in there and commit to looking for people, identifying people, doing your list, holding yourself accountable, not thinking Joni's being pesky when she holds you accountable. Here's what you can do. You can say, hey, Joni, I'm just not interested in being held accountable. She won't hold you accountable, I promise. Because none of us want to work with someone that doesn't want to be worked with. I always tell people, I'll match my time with your effort. And I always remind them, effort doesn't mean the people with the biggest sales. Joni puts a lot of effort. She's not my top manager yet. I give Joni a lot of my time because I see a lot of effort come from her. But I believe she will be one day because of that effort. So before we wrap up here, does anybody have any questions? And this is anything about getting your business started. And don't be shy. This is the best place to ask. So when no one has any questions, to me that means you all get it 100%. You're going to get off the phone. You're going to get to work. And I'm going to meet you all in Maui, okay? So must mean you get it. So I really enjoyed getting to know you all. I'm super glad you've joined me. And I look forward to, I want you to see, you saw how I walked through that book. You've heard it now. You can even do it with your own recruit. You don't have to wait for Joni to do it. In fact, she would love for you to do that. It's how you build a stronger relationship. But she will be here to partner with you. The FDMs do this training, and we take turns. We do it every Tuesday at noon Central, 1 Eastern, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. However, I just found out today, this coming Tuesday, it will only be offered in the evening because it conflicts with our manager call. So it will only be offered in the evening this week. That's the first time it's ever happened like that. But it is there for you to use partner with Joni, figure out what works, And I hope you guys have gotten a lot out of it. And I'd love for you all have my email address. I'd love to hear from you what your favorite part of this was and what you're planning to do in your business to make it really fly. Maybe something new, maybe something you knew you needed to be reminded of. And because that way it'll reinforce it for all of us.
What you doing? Good.
All right? All right, ladies, and I don't know if we had any gentlemen on. It was great speaking with you, and I'll look forward to seeing great success come from this team, okay? Bye, everybody. It was fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome.